Hi everybody, ArmyP here for eXplorminate.net. Welcome to episode 5 of the ArmyP Republic, a new Let's Play we're doing for Stellaris with the new DLC expansion Utopia installed. And if we just remember from the last episode, and this is the awesome part about you guys doing the comments in the comments section below, we had encountered our first faction, the Electoral Freedom Center, and they got ticked off because apparently we had restricted some free movement in our policies, and I wasn't aware of that. So I went into my policies and my edicts. I see here under the resettlement and not the refugees. It must have been resettlement that I was looking at. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I read resettlement as prohibited because I was allowing my government to forcibly move the populations in and around that I saw fit, and I didn't think that was quite right, because our government policies are ones around, ultimate egalitarianism and faction, individualism. That's essentially individualism is the ethic that we took over for or got replaced by egalitarianism. We're xenophiles and we're spiritualists. So I can kind of see forced relocation under spiritualists, depending how fanatical you are. But the bottom dollar is, in my ArmyP Republic, we're on a volunteer army basis. So there will be no forced resettlement, as dictated by our Patreon supporters. We're a free living society. So by changing that, you'll see here that if you look in the left hand side of the screen, this drop down window with the factions, you'll see here I've got all 3 of the 4 are now green, and in doing so their happiness increased to 60%, and I'm now generating a total of 2.3 influence from this faction by making them happy, which is awesome because you can see up here I'm now generating like crazy, and I'll have no problems at all building a frontier outpost if I see fit, or a colony ship. I've also sent my one Corvette. He's got some serious miles on his warp drive. As he hopefully doesn't attract those guys. He doesn't. A lot of crystalline entities in and around us. We're gonna have to mop those guys up at one point. But anyway, he's on the galaxy-wide missions to see what he can. In the meantime, we're doing good for all of our resources when it comes to our surpluses. What I'm going to debate doing right now is I think that we're going to build a colony ship next. Oh, poor Corvette. Look at all these crystalline entities, man. We are just absolutely swimming. Like, if you looked at all of these, each one of these red exclamation points represents some type of threat in and around the ArmyP Republic. We're going to be, when we transition from early to mid-game, our fleets are going to be busy, man, because look at this. A poor Corvette never stood a chance. Yeah. Another thing I really like, and you're going to notice this, I do believe tomorrow when this when the patch releases, they added a whole bunch of voiceovers for different things that happened in the notification bar. So they'll like straight up tell you, like the notification will tell you, fleets destroyed, fleets built, certain construction has been completed. It's actually quite nice. A lot of times it will just say, whatever the case may be, fleets engaged, and you don't know which one. So, it could be fleets engaged or something to that effect. Well, now you're actually aware of exactly what it is that's happening. Okay, perfect. So, monolithic. We found an we're not invested. Well, okay. Looks like we got some bonus engineering research, which is good. Okay, so as it stands right now, I am building the very last of my my colony ships that I can build right now, because it stands right. I've got 3 for 3, which means if I build one more, I'm actually in trouble. I've got to figure out a way to get my cap up. I didn't even realize this. Switching down from 5 to 3 has been a little bit of an adjustment. I didn't notice it too much on my first one because I chose pacifist, and I also chose the tech tree, something in the traditions tree that ended up giving me one of the core worlds. I'm not too sure which one it was. Was it Harmony? No, it wasn't. Trying to remember which one it was. Either way, I was able to get a core world relatively quick, so now that we're at base 3 and I'm building a colony ship, we might actually be in a little bit of sticky trouble here. I don't want to have to put anybody into a... I don't want to put anybody into a sector this early. I just got started. Now, hopefully we'll have something come up. Sorry, I actually totally forgot what we got. Okay, research speed 5%, that'll help out. Jeez. Physics lab, colony building speed, or a fusion power. Well, considering that we don't need any additional power because we haven't built anything that modularizes onto our ships, I guess it only makes sense to do physics lab. Okay, so what are we looking at? Foster 3, we're not going to do anything there because that's what we're going to colonize. We might as well colonize both these. So I think what we'll do is we will get a little bit of, well, to save up for a mining station. Never thought I'd ever have to say that. So this is one of those things I was talking about earlier with, you know, how the early game slowing down. It really has seemed like we're, you know, almost 12 years into the game. And it does seem like I'm just completely deficient. I'm still only at 18, and that's the reason is because even though my minerals per turn keeps going up, my population base keeps growing, and because of the new consumer goods mechanic, I'm kind of restricted on how many minerals I'm going to be getting per turn. And that's why it was very hard end game in the last one that I played to start seeing that complete overflow of different of my minerals to the point where I almost didn't even know what I was going to do with it. Not saying it's perfectly balanced just yet. I think that there's probably some more that could be done with it, but that being said, I think it's close. Now, I'm trying to think about what we're going to do. I almost think that we're going to put Foster under its own sector. As soon as I basically colonize it, I will be making a sector, which will give everybody here kind of a chance to see how the sector does. And the reason I'm going to do that is you can see here that the Foster sector has 2 planets that we're planning to colonize. One's got, we've got a total of 5 energy and 8 minerals, and that's a good start for a single sector to get going. I really don't care about the science output at that point. And because the 2 planets that I plan on colonizing are right beside each other and have the number 3 on them, it's not too shabby. Because I have started building outside of my sector, it has now triggered the mean time for the it has started to trigger the mean time for the Birth of Space Piracy event, so I'm expecting to see that, and I'm not concerned about it. We got a fleet of 432. I'm almost to the point where I'm going to be capped out on my fleet cap, so we're ready for them. And the best part is because when you played this game as much as I know, or as I have, I know the little secrets of the game. Once we destroy the Birth of Space Piracy event, we'll end up getting a big pool of those of that mineral and that energy back that we can use probably to build another space station. So just a little hint for the guys starting out. Okay, so do I need anything else besides that? Definitely want to keep that going. Growth timer minus 10%, excellent. Okay, so we could reveal habitability in a special vapor. I don't know if that's really something you want to do. Change to Frontier Clinic, just in case you guys haven't been diving too deeply into the patch notes. They've changed the Frontier Clinic to minus 5% growth timer. It used to have to be a bonus to your habitability. I think there's it's upgradable, I do believe, and it also produces food. So I never made the Frontier Health clinic, basically the Frontier Clinic. I never did that because I didn't need the habitability, because I either chose something that was dedicated directly for my race in particular, or I just waited for myself to tech up to the point and I just protected those specific planets, or I terraformed. It just seemed like a waste of a tile. But this could be great, and I think we actually might build it. Now that I'm thinking about it, this would probably be a really good planet to build this on. Boy, that border range looks awfully tempting. I think we're going to go border range. It's always good to discover your options. Okay, so what do we got here? I got Bella almost at level 4. What would her... 20% reduction? Yeah, that's good enough. And the Kerr Emerald's at level 5. Okay, so we've got our colony ship. So here we go. We're going to pretty much colonize Foster 3. And again, remember that when you plop down your disassembled colony ship, it's not going to generate food for you. Boy, this... I think what I'm going to do is pop down on Foster 5, and when I establish itself as a sector, I think my focus is going to be balanced. I'll show the screen a little bit once we get that going. I really don't want to get too far ahead and get my fleet out, because I think my next thing it's going to do is start to take out the oh, here it is, just when I start talking about it, but I didn't want to move my fleets to the Lytrin system. Boy, that sun's bright. Shield your eyes, child. Lytrinin sector, because that's where the fleet's going to go next. Okay, the birth of space piracy. Again, you can notice here that I'm at 2,212. It did not start to counter over until I built something outside of my sector, my home sector, when it came to research facilities, research stations outside in space, or mining facilities outside of my sector. So it basically gives you that breathing room where you don't feel like you're in a constant rush, and you dictate when the space piracy is actually going to occur. So everybody knows that these guys are going to be coming, and we're ready for them. Just for giggles, we're going to take our construction fleet and get it back home. And there he is. So I wonder if he's in the Ogden system. Oops, what do we got here? Push this off. I want you going here. Oh no, my colony ship. Why are you going that way? Jeez. Right to my colony ship. No, you gotta go this way. Oh god. Oh my god, my colony ship just got attacked. What have I got? 2 days? Oh, I think my colony ship got away, didn't it? It did. I was about to lose it. I was about to lose it. After all this time warning everybody about how the colony ship, or sorry, how the space piracy event can be manipulated and metagamed to the point where it, does your advantage. Okay, calm down. Whew. Army P Republic, we're not in terrible news. We did lose probably 5 months though. When's this bad boy coming back? We'll find out in the upper hand corner here. Yeah, sure. Our fleet has left our center range. Okay, where is it going to come back? So we're only losing 3 weeks here. Okay, that's not terrible. Boy, oh boy. That was a close one, wasn't it? Okay, what do we got here? Is that... Okay, well, it looks like everything is good to go on this world. Does anybody... Yeah, we've got a couple people not building much. We're gonna get you building some more minerals, please. Okay, so here is a temple. This is interesting. I don't quite remember. It must be for spiritualists, because I don't quite remember seeing that last time. But it produces 2 unity, which is important. That's not what we're going to build right here, right now, because I want to increase my production, but it's something to consider. I wonder if I can build it in Alberta Prime. I typically try not to build too much of that. Oh, I can too. Yeah, we'll make the call when we need to make the call. Okay. Just making sure we're getting to Bella to do the research improbable ceramics. And I want to check on Collindor Prime. Make sure that everybody's at least building something there. Okay, we don't really need food too much, I think, from here. Having some extra energy is always nice, because we're still at +2. Okay, come on, fleet, let's go. Save that. Let's save my mining facility. Now, another thing you're going to notice right here, and this is a change when it comes to banks, is the pirates' flag, right, is red. It's a red reticule and a gold symbol in the middle, and their trail that's coming off of their engines is red. Whereas here, our sign is green and our trail is green, as well as our ships have like a green hue to them, you know? So this is kind of the way that Paradox is kind of identified ships. So now it's much easier to see, you know, just who's fighting what. And you can see here that we completely obliterated them. It was almost a bit of a joke. Okay, at this point I definitely want destroyers because we haven't been paying too much attention. And I think we haven't been paying too much attention to our neighbors, and the reason is because we've got the biggest empire that we found thus far, and we probably got the biggest military as well. So we're not sweating it. Okay, and now we got a colony ship. It's probably done repairing, and we will go back to Foster 3. We will colonize yet again. That, I believe, is where we went. Yep. Okay, let's try that again. Alright, now we have to hunt down the pirate's base. Oh, we found it. There it is. Perfect. And you can see here we've capped out at food storage. Interesting enough, and I haven't played around with this too much, and I'm just going to pause this before we take out that pirate base. Little segue while we're at it. It's a few stockpiling. Interesting. Kind of gives us 3 different options. We can store minimal amount, balanced amount, or large amount. And I honestly, I don't see the reason why you shouldn't go absolutely as large as you can. There doesn't seem to be anything about that. Do you wish to change stockpiling to balance with our empire? We will not be able to change their stance for 10 years, and the policy will have the following effects. The balance approach will stockpile, allow us to use food surpluses towards growth, but still leaving a significant reserve should anything happen. You'd think that this would be... You'd think that if it was minimal, that ensures better use towards population growth, that there would be some type of statistic that would say if you have a minimal amount of storage, food storage capacity, you have, you know, a certain percentage plus growth, your growth parameter, your growth timer for your population will be, let's say, 2% arbitrarily, and then balanced it'd be 1%, and then large it would be 0.5%. It's not indicated. It is said, it is hinted, it just hasn't indicated. I wonder if I kind of just go over to my population growth. There's population goods. Maybe growth here. If it is, it seems to be hidden somewhere in the stats. We'll get to that later. But anyway, that was a little segue. We're going to keep it on small just in case that percentage seems to be significant. In the meantime, we're going to take out these dirty space pirates. You stand no chance, space pirates, and I know you got the goods. Give me the goodies. Oh, that's another thing you're going to notice is that it seemed... Sorry, what was something in progress? Oh, special project is in progress. You'll notice that the actual time it takes to take down space stations, that anything of that nature, it has been elongated. I don't know if there's been a buff there that I wasn't aware about, but either way, 80 minerals and 50. I don't know about you, but I remember that being a tad bit better, don't you? I thought it was like 300 and 100. Huh? Almost doesn't even make it worth it anymore. Okay, so again, our minerals are a bit low. Again, I also don't want to do that. Get those minerals going. And I think what we'll do is we'll save for yet another space station. Funny enough, we're, you know, like a peace-loving nations, but we've actually been able to establish a pretty strong economy, and we're going to be building a second space station while our 4th colony goes up and our 1st sector. Okay, again, I talked about the artisan troop. This is someone that can provide huge bonuses to our our empire once we become their patron. Unfortunately, our economy is not doing as that well. So what I want to do is I want to establish this planet in the foster system, and I want to show off a little bit of the sectors because man, oh man, has that ever been a contentious issue with hardcore Stellaris fans. And I don't blame you. Some of the perceptions behind the sector system have been pretty, wonky, and I admit that certain builds that you used to be able to establish in the 1.4, like the sector system just didn't have what it needed in terms of information to actually do what it needed, and it would get like frozen. I remember, conquering planets, massive planets that had nothing built on it. And mine in my own sector was sometimes that would happen. But I can tell you right now in 1.5, it's significantly better. I played with 3 or 4 different types of sectors in my last game, and so much better. And I'll explain some of the different ways that it's better as soon as we get this established. Now we've got our new traditions tree. All right. Each capital building produces 1 additional unity. We can do some discovery. I'm almost thinking that we should. I really want to get expansion done so that I can get an ascension perk, even though I know it might not be the best thing to do. Frontier outkeep reduced by 50%, so that's pretty good for my influence, but I think I'm going to go for the capital building. We're going to do the entire expansion tree, even though, because as it stands right now, we definitely need those borders to be pushed out a little bit. The cost of a frontier outpost would be nice to reduce. Okay, what am I going to do here? Foster's almost done. I think what I'm going to do is build another spaceport. And you can see here my unity is now at 7. So 43 months. I believe last time it was at 72. It was quite a bit, like almost 5, more than almost 6 years worth of goodies. Okay, so everybody looks like they're producing pretty good here. So I'm just going to undo this and get Foster Prime going. I think there you will build a resource for me, sir. Perfect. The Army P Republic is going well. Okay. I don't think we've actually encountered anybody new, but I haven't had anybody else going my way. Maybe I'll do it this time. We'll go this way. Again, we'll scout the universe for new friends, allies, potential foes. Why not? Most erratic thing. Okay, so special project completed. The ceramic, oh wow, okay, basically we gave up on the study. It was brimming with energy, but it didn't, we got plus 15% research for the next, whatever months, 120 months. Is it 120 months? Let's see what we got here. That's not so bad. Extra research is always good. We should be focusing on getting some research stations built if that was the case. So now, yeah, I guess I was thinking about, okay, what is Bella doing? Okay, and after that you can go here. Just get these special research projects going, why not? Boy, I never thought that I'd be having a sector this early. Again, in the last game I was telling you guys that I ended up being pacifist, so I ended up having 2 extra core worlds. And I believe I took a civic that gave it maybe 2 extra core worlds, something to that effect. So I had 5 off the bat. I didn't... It's pretty tight. Oh yeah, pretty tight. Got enough minerals for some goodies here. I want to look at my shipbuilding. Could be... Science ship should have... Just a small upgrade. I'm going to upgrade the science ship. Put it on Q, why not? Ooh, interesting. A non-aggression pact has been initiated between the Ventricius... I'll never get this. I can't wait to take them over so I never have to say this word. And the Velmanax Imperium. Wow. Another thing I didn't, and I haven't been paying attention to, is it looks like everybody's now got 2 colonies. So it looks like the AI is kind of going on pace with itself. Isn't too bad. They're definitely not interested in having a defensive pack with me on either end. Wonder if this Gygaxian, so handsome. Seriously, jealous. I mean, like, I'm looking at you in the back. Is that leaves? Or, like, what is that in the back? Is that a headdress? Oh, God. Like, I have unbelievable desire to shoot that right in the face. Maybe because I played Doom as a kid. Alright, everybody, I got the Foster as my additional point. I'm actually going to turn this to our new sector, and I will show you the new sector system, and you're going to be loving it, because what I'm going to do is we're going to kick it off, and then I'm going to show you just how it's different. Okay, so we'll call it Foster Prime. Okay, new sector system. First things first is we're going to get a governor. Always do this, because as you put more and more planets, you can have one governor that ends up giving its the governor's bonus, which can be anything from, you know, clearblocker time to boost in growth timer. It'll do it to all the planets instead of having to pay, you know, for each one. So in this one, I think what we're going to do is hydroponics. That sounds good. Whoops, no, I don't want that. Okay, so what we're going to do here is there's two different things that we're going to allow. I don't allow my sectors to do anything in space. I take care of that respectively. But I will build robots, because that's been an issue in the past. And you'll notice that they will build robots on, I say this, you know, the majority. There are situations where certain things are going to occur, and there's so many different possibilities. I'm not going to go through them all, but the majority that I notice is that they will build robots on things that the robots are going to be good at building, which at the beginning of the game, when it comes to just droids, or sorry, robots, then droids, then synthetics, the droids and the robots typically take care of your minerals, and they will actually do that. They will respect tile resources, and we're also allowing redevelopment of the mining facilities. Now, this little bubble here is where it's at. You'll notice that I drag it over and there's no toolbox to it. So what I'll do is I'm going to give the sector quite a bit of money. Okay. Okay, that's good. We're just going to pull this down, and you can see here sector projects, this nice little bubble here. Once you put it over, it'll say it's constructing one building and currently plan to construct a defensive army at Foster Prime, and then it tells me how much it's allocating it towards each project. So it's got 270 right now, and it's going to be allocating 30 of its resources to building a defensive army. This thing is such a huge advantage, because it will tell you exactly what it is that your sectors are doing, and a lot of times what it's doing would logically make sense of what you'd want a fledgling empire to start to do. And that's pretty much it. Again, with everything else pretty much is your standard fare for sectors. I just noticed that it's much better. Now if we were playing a slaving, or authoritarian type race, that's when the sector does much better, because what you do is in your civic or in your species screen here, let's just say I pick, you know, these peons. The myth fell. Let's just say we pick these guys, and let's just say that we ended up enslaving them, right? Because we were a slavery type race. So we could actually pick the type of slavery race or slavery that we want to give them: chattel, you know, battle thralls, the different options that you guys can play with once you get your hands on Utopia, or even the purge tape. We will set this at this screen here, and then what the sectors will do is they will carry out that macro order. So instead of having to micromanage on your actual population screen and moving things around and being like, oh, why are they building here, or why is it that the sector AI is enslaving my prime race and not enslaving my race that I conquered or whatever. By doing that species screen, you're able to issue out all of those orders, and the sector AI doesn't have to be a genius to figure it out. That all it has to do is follow those parameters. So it's a way better system. But because we're playing with, you know, standard fare, we're just playing with a lovely type race of friendship and joy with our Army P Republic. There's not much to show you in terms of that. It will get a little bit more established later on, and maybe what we'll do is, as we continue this game, we will make a larger sector and allow them to colonize and stuff like that. I just, early game, I don't want it to focus on that. I want it to focus on just building and establishing. So that's pretty much it. Oh, we got some debris. Thank gosh. I always love that. Okay, everybody. What do we got? Some deflectors, non-composite materials, which is great for our first armor. Afterburners. Hey, that's actually not too bad.
Situation log updated.
And we got an encounter. Oh, and a new race. Isn't this exciting? And that's where we're going to stop it, everybody. I got to show you off a little bit more about our expansion plans, our first sector, some more tradition trees. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to like just move forward a little bit for the next episode. So this has been kind of a good point to see where we're going to be establishing. I'm probably going to build another colony ship, build up the military, some more, probably clear out some in the borders and expand and push out to the northern range here. Probably build a frontier outpost. We'll see how it kind of goes. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to step it ahead right now because we've played 15 game in year with me doing a lot of detailed explanations of some of the changes of 1.5. And I think that what we're really going to see in the next 5 years anyway is just a point of micromanagement, backfilling, establishing colonies and getting them set up. Not terribly interesting things to watch. And I think what we're going to do, I'm gonna, if anything comes up that's interesting in particular, of course, I'll record it and we'll push forward. But what I really want to do is start establishing where our other eXplorminate nations are, and hopefully get in contact with them. And of course, as we've already established, the Saigagan Union is too much of a threat to the Army P Republic, and the only way to ensure our freedom is to have a first strike advantage. So that's kind of what our overall plan is. So anyway, this has been a treat for me, and I hope it has been for you. If you got any comments or questions, throw them in the section below, and I'll get to them as quickly as I can. Thank you very much for watching, and this has been Army P for eXplorminate.net, and I'll see you in the next episode.